Hello, everybody, and welcome to an extra special edition of Playing Games with Strangers. I'm
Yay!
your I'm your DM, John. How are you? And with me, I only have Eric
Yes, just me.
because Eric has been missing for a month, and now we need a reason why Stumblefoot's been gone. So
Sorry, John.
it's fine.
Real life got in the
Ugh.
way.
Stupid real life. Anyway, I don't think we're gonna do any kind of Patreon announcements or merch announcements because the people who do that aren't here, and I don't know anything that's going on with any of that because I selectively choose to stay out of all that business. So if you want to be a Patreon, go be our Patreon, and if you want to buy a merch, go to playinggameswithstrangers.com and buy merch.
Yeah, buy a shirt or a hat or a mug or
But
something.
being as Eric's here, if you want to buy some really slick dice,
Yeah, we have some really, really cool dice that we've gotten in stock lately. We have two different styles of liquid core dice. Our Winter Souls, they're kind of a smoky gray colored dice, and our most popular model at the moment. And they have a white liquid core inside that when you roll it, it swirls around. Got shiny glitter in it. And then we've got our
so
Oceans.
they're basically dice snow globes.
Pretty much, yeah. That's exactly. That's a very good way to describe it. And then we also have our Sage's Ocean Souls, and they're kind of a greenish tint. And then they've got a little liquid core in there that when you roll it, it swirls around and looks pretty. We have like four models of 4 or 5 models of dinosaur dice now. We got these new ones in that have like little tiny Grim Reapers in them. We've got hamburger dice.
I was just about to mention the hamburger dice.
Yeah. So we've got a bunch of new stuff in over the last couple months, and it's a lot of
If
really
you really want to make a sale with me and possibly Dallas, who is Celeste's husband,
yeah.
you should make some taco dice.
Nothing is off the table at this point.
I want
Um,
taco dice.
all right. Well, I'll see what I can do. It's a distinct possibility.
You
Um,
heard it here first, everybody.
so yeah, all kinds of fun stuff. We've got a bunch of new metal dice in as well, if that's your kind of thing. Stuff. We've got some new like our Grimm's Fortune line has like, skulls and bones and stuff. We've got a bunch of new styles of dice there, and yeah, all kinds of cool stuff. We're going crazy. Sage's Portal.
Cool. So go do that and support your local D&D podcast.
Triple dub sagesportal.com.
All right. That being said,
Can
it
I do it? Can I
is.
say the words?
Go ahead, fake Josiah.
Roll that theme music.
4, 3, 2, 1. Playing games with strangers. You know there's no danger. So come on in. We're all friends. Playing games with strangers. I'm playing games with strangers. I'm playing games with strangers.
This is kind of weird because I don't have Squid here to recap for us.
Right.
So
Right. You just had to watch me dance around like a slack-jawed idiot.
so where we're picking up for those of you listening is we're rolling back in time to the last time you heard Stumblefoot on the show, right after Stumblefoot and Emryn killed the drow that was about to murder Wilder. So
We're going back in the Wayback Machine. It's like a
mhm.
solid 4 episodes, I think.
It will be by the time this rolls out. Okay, so picking up, it is the night that you and Emryn killed the drow that was getting ready to murder Wilder as he was sleeping. You and Wilder get taken to a separate guest room where there is a single double king size bed in the room. So it's possible for both members to starfish and not touch the other individual.
Is there any other furniture in the room?
There is a bookshelf and a wooden chair I'm assuming. You're probably just referring to like furniture that you can probably
Right.
sleep
Like, is
in?
there like a couch or a small love seat or something?
No.
You're a
This
cruel man. All right. Well, Wilder's not here, but I'm going to tell Wilder that there has. Stumblefoot looks at Wilder and says, "There needs to be at least one sheet of separation between us. So over or under."
uh, I whatever, man. I mean, I'm just gonna go to sleep right here. I mean, there's gonna be a cocoon of web
Yeah, it
between the
doesn't
two of
make
us.
it any less weird.
Sure, I'll go over.
Right. Under it
And
is
I'll
for me then.
all right. And he proceeds just to lay on top of the blankets and cocoon up.
Okay. Then Stumblefoot will go to sleep.
All right. As you sleep, go ahead. I would like you to make a. Would that be a Constitution roll? To if you wake up to something,
Constitution or wisdom, either one will work.
pick one. Go for it.
Well, I'll go for wisdom.
All right.
Better score there than I do in my con. Not gonna matter with a roll like that. That's a 7.
Total.
Yeah, total. Yeah, that's with my +4 on my wisdom.
You rolled a 3.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Were those Sage's portal dice that you just rolled?
No. Well, technically, yes, but they're not a model we sell. They were a sample we got in. So.
No. You see, he has stopped. He has stopped bringing in the dice that roll poorly. So buy your dice from
These
Sage's
ones never
portal.
even made it to the shop.
All right. You know what? I'm going to go by the DM rule that you taught me that never hide something that you need to happen behind a dice roll. So,
Okay.
a couple hours later, you hear a slight whistling coming from across the room. Not like whistling, like blowing through your lips whistling, but
like wind
air.
whistling.
Yes.
Okay.
And you feel a slight cold draft going across your face.
All right. I will wake up with a start and look around the room.
The room seems fairly empty, but I'm assuming you're looking around to figure out where that whistling sound is coming from.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that, like having a mosquito in your room. You know, you can just barely hear it.
Right. That's the best. just kind of that. What is that?
and of course, all you can think about is it landing on you and eating your blood.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna wake up with mosquito bites on my eyelids because I don't want that.
Roll an investigation check.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? We're gonna go for the other die. We'll go for the hollow one that we do sell in the store.
Ooh, roll big.
Not much better.
Oops.
11.
Fortunately, the DC was 10.
Yes.
Because it's not hard to figure that kind of stuff out if you just listen and walk around. You notice that there's kind of a slight breeze coming from behind the bookcase.
Behind the bookcase?
Mm-hmm.
Stumblefoot is going to look back at the bed. Is Wilder still cocooned up in the bed, or is he gone?
He's still cocooned up in the bed.
Okay. I'm going to roll my eyes and grumble under my breath and say, is there a room in this place that it hasn't been infiltrated? This is a joke. I would figure that Orbog's castle is the least secure castle that's ever been castled. I am going to open up I will slide the bookcase out of the way. However, open it, swing it, whatever.
It actually swings open like a door.
Okay.
And there is a hallway behind it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Great. Let's walk down the hallway here.
As you start walking down the hallway, you notice little holes with light coming through as you're walking down the hallway to your right.
I bet I know what this is. I'm going to peek through one of the holes.
You see aliens sleeping in a room.
Perfect. Great. All right. Well, we know where the bad guys got in now, don't we?
And the hallway does proceed to go further down.
Okay. As I walk down this hallway, I'm gonna peek through the holes, not to like peep on other people, but to see if the room that Wild and I were in is one of the rooms that is linked to this hallway, the secret hallway.
You would actually have to go the opposite direction for that.
The opposite direction. So
with
this
that, you're
hallway,
heading-
it would be impossible for this hallway to be linked to our rooms because it's going the wrong way. Our old room.
Your doorway was not the end of said hallway.
Oh. So when I go into the hallway, I like if I turned right and go one way, and I could go right or left.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Well, does this hallway lead to Orbog's room?
That would actually be across the other hallway. So, according to physics, probably not.
Okay, got it.
That's
So-
more centrally located within the building as a more defensible position.
Can I see an end to the tunnel if I look to the right or to the left?
Well, your rooms are in kind of like a spire within the castle.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of at a downward incline as you spiral around the spire.
Oh, I was not imagining it that way at all. Okay, secret spiral. All right. So, am I spiraling the way I'm going now? Am I going down or am I going gradually up?
You're going down.
Going down. Okay. Just for my own kind of frame of reference, do I know about how high up the spire our room was?
Like as far as feet above ground.
Yeah, ish. Like, was it roughly ish 1 story or 2 stories or 3?
Probably
stories?
about 3 stories.
Okay, so I probably started somewhere in the 60-ish, 40 to 60-ish foot up range, and I'm spiraling down.
Yes, sir.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, I don't feel like being a peeping dwarf, so I guess
You don't want to be a peeping Gimli.
No, nobody wants that. Peeping Thorin. So I'm going to I guess I'll just follow this all the way down to the ground.
All right. As you follow it down, you reach the bitter end of the tunnel, and there is a door to your left.
Okay. I will open the door. Am I at ground level or am I underground?
There's not an intuition check on here. Make an intelligence check.
Okay. I can check my intelligence. Dice are rolling hot tonight. That's a
Awesome.
5.
You're not sure.
Okay.
After all the walking in circles as you
Right.
spiral around this,
A little disoriented. Got it.
yep,
I'll open the door.
you are looking outside, and apparently you are at ground level.
Great. Okay. Is it still nighttime?
Sure is, but you do see a shadow running across the field that is before you.
Are they running away from the castle?
They sure are.
I will follow them.
All right, are you trying to be sneaky snake?
No. I'm just gonna try and follow them. If they're running,
right.
I'm not gonna try and. I'm gonna run after them. So.
All right.
I would like to note that before opening the bookshelf and going down the spiral tunnel, Stumblefoot did happen to grab his weapons. Like he didn't just like, oh, what's this?
I'd imagine so.
No, I'm not gallivanting out into the night unarmed.
All right. So, yeah, you start heading. You start heading to the northeast towards the Raketon Fields.
All right. Does it? I mean, I've got pretty decent movement speed. Does it look like this person is? Am I gaining on this person, or are they getting away, or am I
They
keeping
are
pace?
getting away. From what you can tell, they are a very large, muscular being. They do have horns,
Okay.
and they do have ears that protrude from the top sides of its head.
Like a minotaur type horns, or like demon type horn?
Like a minotaur type horns.
Oh, really? Okay. How far away are they?
I'd say they're probably about 75 yards.
75
And
yards, and they're widening the gap.
They're hoofing it, if you'll allow the pun.
Boo, sir. I say boo. Only because I didn't think of it first. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna try and follow them anyway, even though they're outpacing me.
All right. He cuts across. As you follow him, you kind of see him because this field is full of, just smaller plants. So like probably about what would be waist level foliage for a normal human. So probably like up to your shoulders, I would suppose.
Okay.
But you can see over the tops of it. So you still are keeping a pretty decent eye on it. It's a clear night out, so the moon's lighting quite a bit. And he breaks left as soon as he crosses the bridge to head into town, heading towards the cathedral.
Okay. The cathedral to to Heimdall Idris Elba?
Right, it's the cathedral that it used to be the tower that lays across, separating Nortau and Sotau.
Oh, okay. So that's the Scanati Cathedral?
That'd be it.
Okay, so I'm going to keep following him.
All right.
If at any point he slows down and I can kind of close the gap to the point where my running will become obvious that I'm following him, then I will try to stealth at that point.
Okay.
I kind of figure I'm far enough back at this point that,
Right. And you do have pretty decent cover in the plants right now.
Yeah. Like I just kind of go, just bend my knees a little and head disappears.
So yeah, he makes it into town, and he slows down after he gets back amongst the buildings, and he turns to look behind him just to make sure he's not being followed.
Okay.
You're still in the foliage. Go ahead and roll a stealth check with advantage.
All right, come on, dice.
Because you do have the cover.
Fail me now. Stealth. I'm good at this. Oh, that's a natural 20, so that will be a 28.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to notice you at all, and you become the knight. In fact, you morph into another campaign where, for some reason, the wood elves and the high elves don't like each other very much.
Sounds familiar.
And,
I'm Stumblefoot.
So,
okay.
And then after he checks over his shoulder, he kind of goes, if you were to make a judgment call on this part of town, it's kind of the divier part of town.
Sure.
He cruises a couple back alleys and then goes into, kind of a divey tavern.
Have I gotten close enough to get a better look at this Minotaur individual?
Yeah, oddly enough, he's wearing a leather jacket.
Okay.
And he has black hair.
Okay. Have I met him before?
You haven't.
Oh. All right. Black-haired Minotaur. So all of his hair is black.
Yes.
Black-haired Minotaur wearing a leather jacket. Got it. All right. I will follow him into the... Did you say he went into a bar?
Yeah, a real skeevy tavern.
I will follow him into the seedy dive bar.
All right.
Does this place have a name? Riveting.
It's called the Low Key Inn.
The Low Key Inn.
Is it Lowkey?
Okay. All right. I was saying because there are people who worship Loki Tom Hiddleston here, so I didn't know if maybe it was a double entendre. All right. I will go into the Low Key Inn. On my way in, is there anybody like passed out on the street or anything nearby?
There is looks like a vagrant that has laying in the rain gutter of this building who appears to have thrown up on himself.
Is he wearing a cloak?
Yes.
I'm gonna approach him. Say, "Excuse me, friend."
As you do that, you realize that you're going to be hard pressed to wake him up.
Okay. Is there anyone else that's around that's maybe conscious? I want to buy a cloak off of somebody.
For the time of night that it is, I mean, you're getting close to last call.
All right, then I'll just go in. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to lose this guy.
All right. You go in, and your bovine individual is seated at a table with several individuals who are wearing cloaks
Okay.
that have a large ornate S emblazoned on the front of them.
Okay. I'm gonna sit at a table across the room where I can maybe watch them inconspicuously, just side eye, maybe get close enough where, maybe not all the way across the room, maybe close enough where I could maybe drop some eaves, if you know what I mean. And I'll, as soon as someone approaches me, I'll order a drink, order an ale.
All right. Go ahead for your eavesdropping. Go ahead and do a perception check, please.
Okay. That is a 12.
A 12. The waitress comes and kind of in the middle of their conversation starts trying to take your order, at the worst time.
Right.
So you don't get all the information, but what you do catch is something to do with the location of a sword and the time it's going to be transferred.
Okay.
And he doesn't have much time.
Okay.
And then you see him slide some money across the table to these individuals.
Okay. So he is buying a sword from them, probably illegally.
I mean,
you don't come to places like this to make a legal arms transaction. Yeah, a sword transfer. Okay, got it.
And then a few minutes later, the waitress comes and sets your ale down on the table. Right about that time, the minotaur gets up and walks out.
Okay. I will. I don't want to draw any attention to myself, so I will drink my ale.
Which costs you 2 copper.
2 copper. Done and done.
And the ale tastes like it's probably been cycled through once already, and it's very warm. It's not great.
All right, then instead I'll take about 3 sips of the ale. I will, Stumblefoot will say, well, this is an insult to ale and dwarves everywhere. And I will get up and leave.
All right. As you're going out, you kind of start to think to yourself that maybe that's the reason why it tastes the way it does, is it's just been passed around from patron to patron.
Gross. Gross.
All right, so you exit the tavern. What are you doing?
As I exit the tavern, do I see any of those S-cloaked individuals or the Minotaur?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Do I know what that S means?
Roll a history check.
Yeah, history.
Or a religion check at disadvantage.
Ooh, well, they're both equally not great. So we'll call this history. Oh, sure. I roll at disadvantage. I roll a nat 16 and a nat 18. So that'll be a 17.
You remember in your room before you were attacked that there was a symbol that was drawn on the floor.
Okay.
And it's the same ornate S that you saw on their hoods.
Okay, that S that drow drew on the floor before Emryn just destroyed him with her.
Well, you don't know if it was that drow or not, because the one that had stabbed you was gone before you woke up.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And all right. So if it's last call, it's well after me. I guess I'll go back to the castle.
You're going back to the castle?
Yeah, I'll go back to the castle.
Okay. You go back the way you came, and the door that you came out of is closed.
Is it locked?
You do not see a way to open it, as it is built into the castle. Like, it's not an obvious door.
Okay, can I try to find a mechanism to open the door?
Make a perception check.
No, 19.
You are able to locate the mechanism that locks the door. You do notice that it does seem to require a key.
Well, I have thieves' tools. I'm going to try and pick the lock.
A cleric has thieves' tools.
I started out as a monk.
A monk has thieves' tools?
Yeah, a monk can start with thieves' tools.
Okay. Go ahead and use those thieves' tools.
Just because I have thieves' tools doesn't mean that I use them for dishonest things. I can be, sometimes doors need to be opened, like this one.
Mm-hmm.
That will be a dirty 20.
Dang it, that just hit the DC too. So you are, after fiddling around with it for about a half hour, you finally get the door to unlatch and it swings
A
open.
half hour?
You just barely hit the DC, bro.
Ooh! That's some lock.
Well, yeah, it's a secret doorway. If just anybody could open it, it wouldn't be much of a secret, would it?
All right. Okay. Then after a half hour of fiddling with it, once I finally get it unlocked, well, that's about time. And head in, and I will shut the door behind me.
Okay, as you shut the door behind you, you notice there's some light coming from the tunnel
Okay.
ahead of you, up around the bend.
Okay, I will head that direction.
All right, there is a crack in the door that is just slightly ajar.
Okay.
And if you were to had to guess, you would say that you should be in between levels of the spire at the
Okay.
moment.
I will approach the crack in the door and listen to see if there's anybody about.
Make a perception check.
That's an 18.
You don't hear anything coming from the cracked doorway.
Okay. I'll kind of quietly push the door open a little bit more, maybe try and peek through, see what's going on.
You see a staircase going down into sublevels.
Okay. Is this a staircase that I was aware of?
No.
Does it seem like it's a secret staircase?
Yeah.
Okay. This door on the other side, when I'm looking at as I kind of move through the door, I want to keep it open a little bit. Does it just look like fake wall on the other side? Looks like stone wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to mark it so I can find it again later. Is it stone on both sides of the door?
No. On the inside part of the door, there's an obvious mechanism to make the door open.
And is it wood? What's the surface on the inside?
It's stone textured, like it's been brick masoned with stone.
Okay.
And then it just has a wood frame that's holding it together on the other side.
Okay. What do I have? I'm gonna take out my hand axe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kind of on the inside on the door frame. I'm gonna put kind of like make like a hack out like a little bit of an X,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can find it in the future if I'm in this hallway, and I can take Emryn or someone else to it. And then on the stone side, so that I can find the door. I don't know if my hand axe is gonna do it, but I have a +1 hand axe. So same thing. I want to try and just maybe whack the wall in such a way that I'll know. Oh, that's just leave a quick mark. Just score the wall.
Okay. I'm not going to make you roll for that.
Okay.
It's pretty easy to scrape into rock with a metal implement.
Okay. So, and then I'm going to head down the stairs.
Okay.
Which apparently
are you
lit.
just okay? Yeah, it's lit by torches going down.
I would like to be a sneaky snake as I go down the stairs.
Okay, roll stealth.
Ooh, that's a good roll. That's a 26.
Okay. Yeah, you're pretty stealthy. So this staircase that you're on, it just keeps spiraling down and down and down for a very long time.
Okay.
Until eventually you get to a stone floor and in a very earthen, cavernous area. And do you have dark vision?
Of course I do. I'm a dwarf.
Dude, I don't know.
I have 60 feet of dark vision.
All right. Yeah. So you can see 60 feet around you, and it's a pretty open, cavernous area. And eventually, your vision just goes off in the darkness in all directions.
Okay.
Like there's no visible walls in this area. Like it's almost like this spire was built on top of a giant cavern.
Okay. Is there anything in this cavern? Like, or is it just a big empty cavern?
It's a big, empty cavern.
Okay. Well, I wonder if this was meant to be some kind of secret way out of the castle in case of emergency, or if this was just really bad planning, especially considering that Emryn mentioned there were dark elves invading the whole country. All right. I am going to search around this big cavern to see if there are any tunnels out of it.
As you kind of search around this cavern, you kind of walk about 1,000 yards in one direction. You finally find a wall,
Okay.
and you kind of walk along the wall for probably another 500 yards, and you eventually do find a natural opening
Mm-hmm.
that would function like a hallway in a particular direction. And if you were to look in it, you notice it does have a slight decline going further down.
All right. Well, my spider senses are tingling. I was gonna say my bat senses, but that's not a thing. Well, Eric knows this is a bad idea to go off into a tunnel by himself with no backup, but we gotta follow the narrative, so we're gonna go for it.
All right.
Hope I don't die.
Hope you got a backup character. All right, so
As a matter of fact, I've got a few.
I know I've seen your folder. So you follow this tunnel,
Okay.
for quite some time. If and being as you're a dwarf and you're used to being underground, you have a good sense of time as far as what time of day it is, and you've been going down this tunnel long enough to know that the sun's probably rising right about now.
Okay.
And you're still going further down. What languages do you speak?
I speak 2 languages, Dwarven and Common.
Oh, okay. Then you hear. Actually, make a perception check.
Okay.
Or rather, not a perception check, because you're not actively trying to perceive something. What's your passive perception?
My passive
passive
perception
perception?
is 19.
Oh yeah, then you hear it. You hear whispers coming from the darkness ahead of you, ever so slightly, in a language you don't understand.
Okay, then I am going to attempt to, because I wasn't stealthing before, I'm going to try to creep forward quietly because I don't want to be noticed. And I
Alright.
assume these people probably are not friendly.
Roll stealth, please.
That is a 21.
Good lord.
I've got
Alright.
an 8 on my stealth, man. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
quiet.
You're super sneaky.
I am sneaky.
All right, so yeah, you're super stealthy, and as you creep up, you see Paradrow
Okay.
in a hushed conversation, and they are at what seems to be an opening into another large cavern.
Okay. Do they appear to be sentries?
Um,
Or are they just 2 drow hanging out in the neighborhood?
they seem to be there with purpose, but they don't seem to be armed and armored like sentries.
Okay. Are they armed and armored?
They are armed, but not necessarily armored.
Well, that doesn't mean much. Okay. I'm going to try to slip past them.
Yeah, with that 20, I'd say you do that.
Okay. I will keep going.
Yeah, as you slip past them and enter into this larger cavern, you see how large this cavern is, and there's actually a city before.
Oh, a large city? A small city?
It's fairly large.
Do I have a rough idea of kind of where I might be beneath Towerfall? I know I'm not super familiar with the area, but I started below the castle Did I have a general idea of which direction I was heading when I started going down the tunnel?
Northwest,
Northwest. Okay.
and you were walking for several hours.
Several hours. So I probably crossed under the river at least.
You are used to being underground.
Sure.
Let's do this. Make a perception check. I won't give you disadvantage.
Okay. Ooh, I got a nat 20. That's 24.
Yeah, you're pretty sure you're on the edge of the Eldhus Mountains.
Oh, wow. So I crossed all the way to North Towerfall.
Probably past.
Yeah. Okay.
technical.
I walked a long time.
Yeah, you did like
Okay.
hours.
Okay.
Like the sun, like you felt like the sun was going up back when you first were
Sure.
in the tunnel and walking through the tunnel and going further down.
So am I feeling like half the day walk or
Not half the day, probably like it hasn't reached. You haven't reached lunch yet, but it's gonna be there soon.
Okay. So and sunrise was probably like at what 6 a.m. ish.
About.
So
But you're probably, if you're not at the Eldhus Mountains, you're probably fairly close.
okay. All right. Well then I am gonna turn around and go back. I'm not gonna hang out in Drowtown.
In Drowtown.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hang out in Drowtown. That does not sound like a good plan. That does not sound like a plan for long-term survival.
Okay. As you turn around and start walking back towards the tunnel, you hear a clicking noise
Okay.
coming from above you.
Coming from above me. Well, that's not good. I will glance up.
You look up and you see something that looks almost like a cross between a snapping turtle and a bird, and it has giant hooks instead of hands.
I'm gonna run.
Which direction?
Well, I was going north, so south, back the way I came. Away. Yes. Away.
Run away! Are you still trying to be stealthy? Because I will say, with your perception check that you did, you are fairly certain it hasn't seen you yet.
Oh, well then I will try to sneak away. If it doesn't know I'm there, because Stumblefoot probably doesn't know what that is. But it looks nasty and he doesn't want to have anything to do with that. Eric knows exactly what that is.
All right. Go ahead and roll another stealth, please.
Okay. That is not the best. That's a 19. Not a great roll. I've done better.
Here's this thing.
You know what?
Stat block.
I made a mistake. I'm supposed to roll my stealth checks with disadvantage.
Oh, are you armored?
I have the janitor's key ring, and I keep forgetting to have that.
Oh,
So I will roll again.
go ahead.
That's that's a 10. I forgot about the janitor's key ring, and I just noticed. I just glanced at my
I was trying to be lazy.
my
Just
inventory.
use the
My
interwebs and
inventory.
Yeah, it rolled a 4. So, yeah, it doesn't notice you at all.
Because I thought for sure with a 10 I was burned.
So it seems actually fairly intent on with your perception check that you threw. It seems fairly intent on the two drow.
The two drow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then I'm
So
gonna...
it seems to be running along the ceiling in the direction that you are actually heading.
Right. But if it's intent on the drow, then I'm just going to try and squirt past them and head on my merry way.
Okay.
Do I need to make another stealth check to get by those boys?
Well, you're still stealthing. You didn't come out of stealth, so.
No, but I've got a 10 that I'm working with now
You say that
instead
like
of a 21.
You say that like it's my problem.
Oh, it's not. I'm just doing my best to try and edge the odds back over in my favor. That's how you do.
They notice the jingle jangle of your key ring
Yeah.
as they turn towards you, and they start to squint in your direction as you get close to them. and it is very obvious that they see you coming towards this tunnel. And they're a little bit confused about why there's a dwarf coming from their city towards the tunnel.
I'm going to. Do I notice that they noticed me?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, as I'm approaching them, I'm just gonna point up at the ceiling and go, "There's a bigger problem than me," and point out the hook horror and book it.
As soon as you book it, it seems like the hook horror has noticed you. They look up and get wide-eyed, but as you run past them, you hear this the creature that you saw fall from the ceiling and come down on top of those two drow, and you hear a sloppy slurp as it comes down on top of them with its hooks.
You? I'm not gonna turn over my shoulder to look. I'm pulling a lot on this one, and I'm not looking back. Gonna go straight ahead. No Lot's
Nope.
wife for me.
No pillar of salt for
No pillar of salt
Stumblefoot.
for here. No, we're gonna keep shuffling here.
Every day I'm shuffling. All right. So yeah, you are heading back down that hallway.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of chuckle to myself under my breath and say, "Who'd have thought a hook horror would save the day?" And I guess I will make my way back to the castle.
All right. Trying to think because the actual staircase is in the middle of the cavern, and the cavern's big enough when you're along the sides. You can't see the staircase, so make a. I feel so limited by the stats in this game right now. Can't say cartography because that doesn't make sense.
I mean, I could make an investigation check. I'm actively searching for the stairs.
Yeah, let's go. Let's roll with that.
21.
Yeah, after a bit of scrambling around, you eventually find the stairs, and you start making your way up and up and up and up and up and up and up until eventually you get back to the end where that doorway is. Although that doorway has since been closed by somebody.
Okay. Where the doorway is that the end of the stairway that I'm in?
Mhm.
That's where it stops. Okay.
Mhm.
Well then, I mean, same thing as before. I'm gonna try and find the mechanism to open this.
Oh, it's obvious on this side.
Okay. Well then, I'm gonna poke the button or pull the lever or.
And
You
that
know.
door opens, and you're back in that hallway where the secret hallway that goes to your rooms. Although the door to the outside is again.
Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna listen real quick. Do I hear anything going on?
You hear a distinct voice being like, "Yeah, so you can't, just letting you know I'm going to be working tonight, so you can't be, you have to find somewhere else to stay."
Okay. I'm going to try to find the source of that voice.
As you poke, it's coming from the opposite side of that doorway and further down towards the front of the castle.
Okay.
As you go outside and towards the front of the castle,
Uh-huh.
you see a very familiar looking minotaur
Oh, really?
walking away from the castle with a sword.
Is the sword? Was he just walking, waving a sword around, or does it like she?
No, it's like he has it in his hand. He's got a very proud look on his face.
All right. I'm gonna say to myself, who is this guy? I guess I'll follow him.
All right. You follow him. He cuts across the field and goes back to that same part of Southern Towerfall.
Okay.
And he heads back to the same tavern.
Oh, not this place again. The low key tavern. More like low quality ale tavern. This place stinks.
Are you going to go in?
Yeah, I'll go in.
All right, you go in and you see that same mug of ale sitting on the table where you left it.
Gross.
And as you Are you going to sit at that same table again?
No.
As you walk past it, there's kind of a skin that's grown across the top of it, kind of like a pudding
Ooh.
skin.
Ooh.
But he goes in there and
Stumblefoot throws up in his mouth a little bit.
The Minotaur goes into that tavern and sits in the corner table where he was at the evening prior, but he's by himself, and he sets the sword on the table, and he pulls out a piece of parchment. He's fairly oblivious to you, like he doesn't really think that anybody there really matters at this juncture.
Okay.
And pulls out this piece of parchment and he writes something down on it, and then he just kind of tosses it up, and it kind of catches fire when he tosses it up, and he just kind of sits back like he's waiting for something.
Okay. I want to belly up to the bar in a spot where I can kind of keep a side eye on him, and I will ask the bartender if they serve more than one kind of ale here.
He's like, "Oh yeah, we sell all kinds of ales here."
Right. What's your best one?
We have. He's like, "Well, we have this buckwheat ale that people seem to enjoy."
Okay. Anything else on the menu?
Well, I mean, what are you looking for?
You ever heard of Thunder Brew Ale?
No, should I?
It's popular in the parts I'm from, but that's a waste.
We have the cider that's made from parsnips.
That sounds strange. Parsnip cider, huh? I mean, I'll try anything once. Let me have one of those.
All right. He turns around and he walks in the back. You hear some rummaging and a couple dull thuds, and he pulls out he comes out with a glass of some off yellow colored liquid and sets it before you, and he says, "That'll be 5 copper."
Okay, I'll slide him 5 copper.
Make a actually no, with your passive perception he does. There's a slight chuckle as he takes the copper and he walks down the bar to the next patron.
I'm going to sniff the cider.
Not pleasant.
Mm-hmm. Does it remind me of anything?
It reminds you of what would happen if you... It reminds you of the juice that you would find at the bottom of a bin that was holding some fetid produce.
Yeah, I'm not going to drink that.
Now, after about 20 minutes, another hooded individual comes in and sits down at the table with the Minotaur.
Okay.
And he mentions to the Minotaur that they've changed their mind, and now that they're aware of what the sword is, they would like to give him his money back and actually purchase it from him for 1,200 gold.
Okay.
And he's like, "Yeah, I've got some feelers out on this. Tell you what, bring your boss, Will haggle behind the bowl shop." And,
behind the bull shop or bowl shop?
Bowl. B-O-W-L.
Got it.
We'll haggle behind the bowl shop, and we'll see what kind of arrangement we can come to. And the guy in the robes, you can't get a good look at his face. He goes, "Whatever you say. Let me just go ahead and give you this back." And you see a familiar money bag get pushed back across the table to him, just to sweeten the offer. And then he wanders. The hooded guy proceeds to leave.
Okay.
After several more minutes, a drow walks in and sits at the table.
Do I recognize this drow?
No.
Okay.
And you hear him.
So it's not Yambagorn.
No.
Or Yangaborn.
Yangaborn's dead.
Okay, that's the one we murder hoboed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he sits down and he's like, "The mistress would like to purchase this sword that put your feeling in." He goes, "Ashlyn wants to buy the sword? I didn't know she was in any kind of condition to make any kind of offer. The drow says, "Oh no, she is doing very well. One might say she's renewed of spirit. So she's willing to offer 3,000 gold for this sword. So why don't we go ahead and make this trade now?" And the Minotaur goes, "Well, I've got another offer on it right now. They have first dibs on it, but if they won't exceed your offer, then we'll chat." It's like, "Very well. Don't keep us waiting. It would be against your best interests." And he walks out of the tavern. And the Minotaur has kind of a greedy glint in his eyes, and he kind of a look on his face like he's walked into a payday.
Well, yeah, he's got two parties bidding over a sword and run up the price.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess I will. I'm gonna leave the glass of fetid vegetable water on the bar, and I'm gonna make my way out.
All right. And as you're making your way out, you hear a female voice behind you saying,
Hey! You keep leaving your drinks on the tables like we're here to be your personal maids and waste produce.
I'm gonna turn around and look at her and say, "You keep serving me undrinkable swill. I've never been to a tavern where I had to pick up after myself. Isn't that what they pay you for?"
You could at least drink what you buy.
I took a sip of that god-awful ale last night. It was horrible. And that stuff, that cider, that just looks like it's rotten vegetable water. It doesn't even have, there's no even alcohol in it.
You didn't even try it.
Because it smells like rotten vegetables.
That's how they ferment.
But it's not supposed to smell like that. You're going to talk to a dwarf about spirits and how they're supposed to taste and smell?
Bah, you're just ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about.
She turns and walks off.
Okay. Stumblefoot will shake his head and leave. I'm gonna wander around town and look for a bowl shop.
A bowl shop?
Yes.
Okay.
He said they were gonna meet out behind a bowl shop, so I'm gonna try and figure out where this meeting's supposed to take place.
You wander around. What would I have you roll for that? Investigation, please.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good roll. Investigation is that's a 25.
All right. You start heading back towards the castle, and sure enough, not too far away from the castle, there's a fairly ornate bowl shop that has several fairly decorative bowls in the window. I'm trying to remember. Ceramic bowls in the window. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay. I'm gonna go into the shop.
All right. You walk into the shop. You do notice that in the front doorway there is a fairly large open knot hole in the wood.
Okay. I will take note of that as I walk around the store.
Mm-hmm.
I do actually want to buy a bowl.
Okay.
Because at 4th level I gained the spell divination. And so should I ever want to try to peer into the future, I could use the bowl.
Okay.
Probably won't, but you
know. A fairly well-to-do human walks up to you and says, "Good day, sir. How can I assist you?"
I'm looking for a bowl. Sometimes for
you've come to a great place to find bowls. We have bowls of all types here.
I see that.
Was there something special that you were looking for?
Well, sometimes when I perform certain religious ceremonies, I need a bowl to pour some fresh water into. So I'm looking for something kind of nice. Oh, has a nice decorative look to it.
Precious metals or earthenware?
Show me what you've got. I'm open to suggestions.
He shows you an array of several bowls, some made of gold, some silver. One that looks like nobody has ever used before. It made out of a substance called electrum.
Electrum's interesting. It's glowy.
And then several some made out of glazed plaster, clay, ceramic.
How much does he want for the Electrum?
Um,
Electrum, the redheaded stepchild of D&D currency.
I know. I part of me wants to say 5 silver, but that would be under.
He wants 1 Electrum for the Electrum bowl.
But I know that would be underbidding myself for the
A little on the
craftsmanship.
nose. I appreciate your joke.
He asks for 50 gold for it.
50 gold.
It's very fine. It's very finely crafted, though. There's like hairline artistry throughout the rim of this bowl.
It's finely engraven.
Mm-hmm.
Engraven. I'm not sure which is the right word.
It's either graven or engraved.
Okay. I would like to try to barter with him to dicker him down a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Not my strongest stat, but we'll give it a shot. That's a 6.
Sir, unfortunately, for the amount of workmanship that has gone into the production of this bowl, I would feel that we would be terribly remiss to the artist who created this piece if we were to shortchange him for the work that
I understand. You can't blame a dwarf for trying, though. I'll pay him.
I certainly appreciate the effort.
Because I appreciate you humoring my attempt, and I will pay him the 50 gold for the bowl.
All right, you have an Electrum bowl.
Ooh, I will add that to my inventory. I'm going to call it in the ornate Electrum bowl.
All right.
Okay. Cool. All right. I also am going to use that as an excuse to kind of case this joint, scope it out. So does it look like there's like there's a way to get to the alleyway in the back, or maybe like a spot where I could hide if I wanted to come back and try and spy on somebody making a shady deal?
There's an alleyway. I mean, inside the. Are you talking about inside the building or outside the building?
Outside the building.
There is an alleyway that kind of goes to a squared off area in the alley.
Okay.
There's some garbage cans out back.
Okay. But it looks like maybe there's a spot where I might be able to post up and spy on people that may or may not be congregating in this alley later on in the evening.
I mean, if you wanted to hide in some garbage cans.
I mean, no one ever wants to hide in garbage cans.
But I mean, there's not really a easy hideaway spot.
Okay. What about rooftop access? Does it look like I might be able to scramble up onto a roof?
You do see
I am nimble.
One taller building that has what would kind of be like a modern fire escape.
I'm Bad Dwarf. Okay.
So there's a ladder going up to the roof.
All right. Well,
Assassin's Creed style.
Yeah, I will make my way back here later on in the day when it's starting to get dark, and maybe camp out up there.
Okay.
But I'm going to take my bowl back to the castle and put it in my room.
Okay. You head back to the castle, and when you make it your way into your room, are you going via the passageway or the front door?
Let's go via the front door, I think.
Okay. When you go up through the front door area, there's nobody in your room. Although the bookshelf is now open.
Okay. Is there a chest or anything in this room?
No. Also, there's books all over the floor now, too.
Okay. I know what happened. All right. Stumblefoot will shake his head and say, "What in the world are there books all over the floor?" I will set the bowl down on there's a small table in the room, right?
Yeah, there's like a nightstand next to the bed.
Okay, I'll set it on the nightstand,
Mm-hmm.
and I will. You know what? I'm gonna take a short nap and try to burn off some of this extra time before I have to go for my stakeout.
Okay.
Because I've been up since the wee hours of the morning. Probably getting
Okay.
kind of tired.
All right. Go ahead and do a short rest. You probably don't have anything you need to recover because you
Nope.
haven't really fought anything.
I've used 0 hit points and 0 spell slots.
Roll a d4 for me, please.
A D4. Well, I just dropped my D4 on the floor.
Strong work, Junior.
Later, we'll roll a different one. 3.
All right. You wake up 3 hours later. Apparently, waking up in the middle of the night and wandering around for all that time made you a little bit tired.
Okay.
So it's probably getting pretty close to the evening now.
Then I will make my way back down into town and try to find a way to get up on that roof without being noticed.
All right. As you walk past the bull shop,
Mhm.
there is a lot of broken ceramic going down the front of the steps.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is the bowl shop still open?
Yes.
I will go in and inquire as to what happened.
All right. As you go in, that knot that's on the floor looks like it's experienced some blunt force trauma to it. Looks like it's been recently widened with a much larger object as you
Okay.
go in. And there is broken ceramics on the floor as well as a lot of broken ceramic on the floor. And the keeper's mumbling to himself as he's sweeping up.
Oh, what? A friend, I was passing by and saw there was a mess on your front steps. What happened?
Yes. Some idiot bugbear came in with an air of flamboyance and threw the door open and fell and smashed all my display bowls here in the front.
Oh, is that so?
Yes,
Well,
very infuriating, but apparently he's associated with the new monarch that's getting sworn in today. So apparently we're going to be paid from the treasury. I sincerely hope that this monarch follows up on his word.
well, it just so happens that I think I know who this bugbear is, and your king Orbog, or king to be, happens also to be a friend of mine. So I'll make sure that he follows up on it for you.
Oh, I certainly appreciate it.
And I'm very sorry that the bugbear happened upon your store. He's a well-meaning fellow, but doesn't always think before he acts.
That very much seemed to be obvious in the situation. I was none too pleased, but I'm glad to see that our future monarchy does have at least some discernment with the friends he keeps.
Uh, I he keeps a few smart friends nearby. Um, I'm sorry for your trouble, sir, and I'll I'll get out of his way and head back out.
All right. Are you still heading to the alleyway?
Yeah, I'm gonna head back towards the alleyway. Make sure
All
that
right.
no one's around.
You get back towards the alleyway, and there doesn't seem to be anybody there.
Okay, I will try to quietly head up the fire escape onto the roof.
Okay, you go up on the roof, and you are on the roof.
I will do the most exciting thing that I can do. I will wait.
Awesome. On this roof, you can see a pretty reasonable amount of Towerfall.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're sitting there waiting, and you're waiting, and the sun is beginning to set, you hear screams coming from the cathedral. When you look in that direction, you see a crowd of people running out of it.
Okay. Oh, crap. I missed the coronation. Well, I wonder what all that's about. Not much I can do about that now, so I will stay where I'm at and keep staking out the alley.
All right. Several hours go by, and nothing happens in this alleyway. Make an insight check, please.
Got the wrong alley. Insight. That's a 24.
You begin to feel that you might have slept through the arranged meeting.
Okay. Well, poop doodles. I guess I'll get down from my perch and well, before I get down, is there still anything going on at the cathedral, or did just a crowd of people leave and I just watched a bunch of people run by and then I just sat here on the
You
roof
watched.
like a
You
jerk?
basically sat up there and watched a bunch of people run out of the cathedral screaming,
Okay.
and yeah, now
Didn't
there's
do anything about
nope.
it. I am the worst. Like, oh, that looks bad. Guess I'll stay here.
I don't want to get in anybody's way.
I bet my friends are in trouble. Oh well.
Oh,
Uh,
Orbog always said he'd be a better leader.
it's Orbog's town. Let's see how he handles this mess. It's not my problem. My town got leveled. Oh, goodness. All right. I guess I'll get down and make my way towards the cathedral. Pretty sure I'm too late for that action.
You make your way towards the cathedral. You walk into the entryway of the cathedral, and in the front room, there are pews that are overturned, and there is a pool of blood in the middle of the floor.
Okay. Are there any bodies?
No.
Is there anyone here at all?
Make a perception check.
Ooh, that's a good roll. That's a 22.
You walk in there, and as you're trying to figure out what's going on, you're looking around for anybody that you can find. Almost out of the shadows comes this older man. And with that perception check, you notice he's semi-translucent. And he addresses you and he goes, "Can I help you, son?"
I is wondering what happened here. Looks like some people were hurt.
"Oh, only one poor lass was gravely injured. But the king-to-be, with the help of his vizier, managed to escape. I can't necessarily say the same for his royal guard that was with him. She seemed to fall in battle, but her body was taken as well with the king."
And forgive me for asking, but who might you be, sir?
"Oh, pardon my lack of manners. Age does that to you. My name is Ereketh."
Ereketh, nice to meet you. They call me Stumblefoot. I'm a friend of the king's. We were separated, and it seems I'm a few hours behind the action.
"It does seem to be that way. Were you not told that there was going to be a coronation today?"
I knew the coronation was coming soon, but I wasn't for knowing it was today. There was an attack at the castle night before last, and I found some secret tunnels and decided to check them out, and went for a very, very long walk underground.
This does not bode well, but it makes more sense with the events of today.
Was there an attack here?
You might say so. The king of Northern Towerfall had exercised his right to remarry and reestablish a new queen, rather than to allow his son to ascend to the throne.
Really?
We should say that the royal guard did not take it well, or rather, the former royal guard, as the entire royal guard for Southern Towerfall has been replaced by edict of the new royalty.
And I think I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to ask a stupid question anyway. Who, pray tell, did the king of Northern Towerfall marry?
It was the guard who was guarding his previous wife. Her name was Ashlyn.
That wasn't what I was expecting. He married Ashlyn. He married the person who was responsible, one of the people responsible for safeguarding his former wife, who
Correct.
is recently in the grave.
That would be correct.
That's odd. I'm not from around here, so I'm not aware of the customs, let alone the political machinations of Northern and Southern Towerfall. Perhaps you, who've been here for probably much longer than I, could give me some insight. Is this an unusual thing to happen? The king marrying a former guard of the queen?
Actually, no. This is the first time in recorded history that any king has ever denied his lineage ascension to the throne.
Oh, really? That's interesting. So it was unusual.
No, very much, very much.
Right. Okay. And are you, as one of the subjects, are you unhappy with the decision?
As you say, subjects, he visibly chuckles. He goes, "Son, I am long since not subject to anybody."
I don't follow.
He moves to stand in one of the bright spots, in one of the spots where the sun's still peeking through a little bit the window, and you notice that as he steps into the light, he becomes increasingly more translucent to the point where transparent would be a better.
You're gonna have to forgive my shock, friend. Are you a ghost?
That's one way to put it. I prefer to refer to myself as corporeally challenged.
Right.
I'm a former acquaintance of our would-be king.
Your would-be king. So you're a former acquaintance of Orbog?
You are correct.
Okay.
I took him under my wing when he was younger and tried to set him on the right path.
So you were part of the Order of Heimdall?
Heimdall, you just saw it, correct.
Pardon me. Okay. Right. So, then the rest of the people, though, are they going to be upset by this development?
Oh, I don't figure that they'll like it very much, but given who the new royal guards are, I don't think they'll have much that they'll be able to do about it.
Who are the new royal guards?
Our former invaders, the Drow.
Aye, well,
That was part of the peace agreement that the new queen had struck to cease the raids.
is Ashlyn a drow?
She is not.
Well, then how did she have leverage with the drow?
That's a very interesting question, to which I have no explanation.
Right. So, when I went on me wee hike this morning, I found a secret staircase that led me down below Castle Manliger. Is that how you say it? Manliger?
That sounds about right.
And I found a large cavern, quite a ways underground. And after I searched around that cavern, I found a tunnel that took me off to the north. Followed that quite a ways north. I think I may have been somewhere near the Eldhus Mountains at the time when I discovered a drow city, a fairly large one.
Well, it would seem that you found your way into the Underdark, my lad.
That seems about right, yeah. So made my way back, so I mean, yeah, you know, the presence of the drow sort of makes sense. I think I found the source. But the only people that I saw there were some drow lurking about outside the city and some sort of strange carapaced bird-like beast with hook fingers that dropped down from the ceiling and ate some drow. So
He chuckles. Who would have thought that a hook horror would have saved the day?
Aye, indeed. Who would have thunk it? Well, do you happen to know where Orbog and the other companions made off to?
I don't. Like I said, his royal vizier came in and teleported them out of here when things got rough. Well, rather, he teleported Orbog and
Yambagorn.
no, he teleported Orbog and Emryn.
Right, but that was Yambagorn, the vizier, right?
No, I'm having a hard time remembering the vizier's name. They were a little goblin fellow. I always have a hard time pronouncing their names.
Don't think I met that chap.
Timbolt, that's his name. No,
Timbolt.
Tombolt. Tombolt.
I don't think I met Tombolt. What about the rest of them? Was there a halfling lass and a furbolg chap and a human chap with them?
There was no halfling. There was a human. As soon as the violence as soon as the king of Northern Towerfall came in and announced Ashland's ascension, she looked at the human and he immediately was incapacitated. And then after they brutalized Emryn and Tombold came in and teleported them, they picked up the young man's body, and strangely enough, she stuck his ring finger in her mouth and bit off his finger. And then she took him where I do not know. I can't actually leave the cathedral. There was a bugbear that was with them as well.
Aye.
But she touched him on his face, and he suddenly got the urge to go show the world his arm.
That was not Ashland. Whoever this Ashland person was, that was Lolth.
Well, that's not good at all.
So, the human man, Wilder, he made a pact with Lolth recently. That would be why she bit his ring finger off, because they were married.
Well, that seems
Sounds
like a
like
poor
they're-
decision.
Well, that's what I told him. I think that pact is now broken,
Well,
which is
that's
both good
to his
and bad.
benefit.
It is to his benefit, but if she has him in his clutches, it's definitely not to his benefit.
The bugbear did come back eventually. Seemed like he had come back to his senses. I guided him to a place.
Perhaps I should be rounding him up first. He's not
you,
one we want wandering about on his own.
You cannot go where I took him.
Oh, but why not?
Because he is in the ethereal realm.
I guess that's as good a place for him as any. Less things for him to break there.
You would be surprised.
I've known Pough for a long time. I would not be surprised. Right, well, it sounds like everyone's scattered to the four winds.
Well, if I give you any advice, it would be I would not recommend going back to the castle.
I left my new bowl. Hey, going back to the castle's probably a bad idea. I'm gonna go back to the castle.
You said you're going back to the castle?
I know a secret way in.
Okay.
And I'm sneaky. I'm gonna go get me bowl.
Okay. Well, good luck, my friend. And I hope to see you again on this side of the veil.
I'm hoping the same thing, friend. Thanks for your help.
And he steps back into the shadow and disappears. You make your way back to the castle. All right. You get the door open with no problem because you know how to now.
Yeah, buddy.
And you make your way up the staircase with no issue, and that bookshelf is still open.
All right, I'm gonna sneak into the room and get me a bowl.
No problem. You get your bowl.
All right, then I'm gonna beat feet out of town.
All right. Where
I have
are you heading?
I have no idea. I have no idea where. I have no idea where anyone is. No clue where anyone is. And I don't like the only people that I know to talk to aren't here. The circle teleportation got whacked. I do know that because I was there for that. So I can't use that. Man, I am up an unsanitary tributary with no form of locomotion.
That's funny.
Well, I bet I know where Wilder is. Wilder's probably at the Drow City, but I need reinforcements. So I need to figure out where Orbog and Emryn and Tumbled went, and Aileen. I don't know where Aileen is either, because apparently she didn't go with everybody else. On my way out of the castle, I'm gonna swing back by Aileen's room and just peek in and make sure she's not still in there. Because you said I could see into her room through the secret passage.
Mm-hmm.
When I peek in through the little creepy eye hole, is Alien in her room?
She is not.
All right. It was a long shot. Okay. Then I'm going to head out of the castle.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have sending memory. I am going to cast sending to Orbog. And I'm going to say, Orbog, sorry I missed the coronation. I found some tunnels. Now I need to find you. Where are you?
And that's where we're going to be where we end it tonight, everybody. I want to thank everybody who is listening to this episode. Sincerely appreciate your listenership. And if you've liked this episode or if you like our series, please like, rate, and subscribe on whatever platform that you listen to us or download this show from. It helps put us in front of like-minded individuals and helps us get in on those creepy algorithms that decide what you can and cannot listen to. Consider becoming a Patreon or buying merch, or if you don't want to spend any money, that is totally fine. I get that. I am broke as well. Being in a band does that. So, at the very least, recommend us to a friend.
Right now, driving a car does that.
The best type of advertisement for us is word of mouth. So, maybe you can tell 2 friends and they'll tell 2 friends and so on and so on. And, because we want this to be as big and weird and wonderful as you want it to be as well. So, am I forgetting anything, Eric?
I don't think so.
All right. Please check out Eric's shop, Sage's Portal. Eric has a very good eye for dice. I have bought several dice from him and I enjoy them all. So I would highly advise that.
If you like hearing our stupid voices, you can listen to us some more on Supersonic Podcomics as well.
This is true. All of our cast are affiliated with it in one way or another. So that being said, thank you so much for listening and we'll catch you next time. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Playing Games with Strangers features the vocal talents of John Haryu, Celeste Mora, Josiah Crandall, J.S. Earls, Catherine Sawinski, Dave Clements, and Eric Campagno. And a special thank you to a few of our Patreons: Matthew Crosby, Debbie Roth, Branson Boykin, and Julie Earls. If you're interested in having a shout out from our Patreon, consider supporting us via Patreon at patreon.com/playinggameswithstrangers. And we look forward to seeing you next time.
Okay, everybody, the cake is done. Hello? Hello? Now, where did everybody go?